Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Okay, I didn't get a morning out of some of y'all. So it has been brought to my attention that my presentations are strictly about my business, which that's why I'm here at Toastmasters. So to enlighten and help some of you all know who I am, this is what this second icebreaker is all about. To be content with your past is a big thing of mine, and also to rejoice on the outcome. I will give you some examples of why I am and who I am. I'm going to give you some challenges, some of my failures, and some results. Starting from the beginning. I was born, I hit the wrong button. I was born in Amarillo Air Force Base. That's right. You know that looks cute. That's right.
You got my vote.
So, being born from an Air Force member, had a chance to travel. We lived in Amarillo for a little while, went to Washington, D.C. for about a year, and then on to Wiesbaden, Germany, where I attended kindergarten and first grade. That's me. Come on. But as you notice, one of the things that I always ran into was the diversity thing, because there wasn't a lot of us around. But it was okay. It was okay. Good learning experience. Then we proceeded to move to Great Falls, Montana, where I wound up doing all of my high school, all the way up to high school. So this is when I was there, and I always like to style a little bit, as you can tell. That was kind of my thing. Going into high school, I was still kind of styling. Styling was kind of my thing. And I decided to get into music. So I had played the trumpet when I was in elementary school, all the way to high school. In my first year in high school, I got what they call a lazy lip, where I was pressing too hard on my mouth, and my mouth would go numb, and I would lose my buzz. So I went to a bigger mouthpiece, ta-da! Thinking that this was going to be cool, I could swing this big heavy thing and march it up and down the street. Then I decided, another thing, since I liked the fashions, I decided to go ahead and publicly try and model. So I did some modeling for the state, and I also modeled for some private organizations.
Wow.
That was kind of cool. So
awesome.
Fashion is still there. I raced motocross. I was a motorcycle rider. Been riding motorcycles since I was in middle school. While I was in high school, I rode and raced for the Montana State Circuit for about 3 years. Got some trophies, but got a lot of stuff. But everybody kept saying, well, you're the only black guy on the course. And I said, well, you can't miss me then. So I wasn't really like a state champion or anything, but I was giving it all my effort, as I had done with everything else. I played in the orchestra when the last couple of years of my high school, and I really enjoyed the orchestra. Symphonic music was just awesome. Couldn't listen to it because it would put me to sleep, but I loved and enjoyed to play. Beethoven, Schubert's Fifth was my favorite. It was one of my favorites. And then I got ready to graduate. This is my graduation picture from high school. I had received 3 scholarships for music, for orchestra, but something else was still in my mind because I needed some help. Boot camp! Boot camp! Basic training. Basic training was very unique for me. From my past, as you have seen, there wasn't a lot of inner city or anything like that being grown up in Montana. Our inner city, they still had places where you can tie your horse up. But it was still cool. It was still cool because I did learn a lot. But I didn't learn a lot of the language of the inner city people. So I was picked on and I was chosen as the Oreo or the person that wanted to be white and that type of thing. And I kept saying, I beg your pardon. Fashion was still my thing. I finally, in the military, got assigned to Korea back in '79, where I started designing clothes, because that was always kind of my thing. For modeling, I always wanted to see what my stuff looked like. And Korea was always the best place, because it was inexpensive. Then when I joined into the Air Force, I ran up against a couple of things. I really like honoring those who needed to be honored. And our unit did not have a color guard. The base had one. They had an honor guard, which basically did funerals, but anything that our unit did, we would be on a waiting list and we wouldn't be able to do stuff. So I created one, and they kept telling me, no, you can't, because you're a junior enlisted, and that takes like officers and stuff like that to support. And I said, well, I got to do this. This is kind of my passion. Plus we get to drill and spin weapons and all that kind of cool stuff. And at 3 of my locations, I did organize and start new color guards for the units. This group of kids I had met when I was in Korea, and these were the Amerasian children. So most of their parents, most of their mother, they were single parent, coming from a single parent. The fathers were usually the GIs that had made all these big promises and then left the woman and went back to the States. So we had like a daycare program for these kids, which was totally awesome because they loved me because I did Taekwondo and I did speak some Korean, so they loved that. So I started learning on how important it was in sharing some of my knowledge and my gifts for those and watch them improve so quickly. Oh yeah, I was designing and styling.
Wow.
Wow, that's a good picture.
When I retired, I opened up a martial arts school. It was my first martial arts commercial school. I was so pumped, because it was like a dream come true. Failure, because I failed in 18 months and went bankrupt. Hurt me a lot because my mother was retired banking, so I was supposed to know the value of money and everything else. But I had joined the Chamber of Commerce to try and figure out how to do this, but nobody had a clue. Oh yeah, I retired and started to get my Wave Nouveau, and I was styling. So with all the heartache, I still, when I got dressed up, I felt so much better. In becoming where I was been, and all the things that put me behind, I always kept pushing. It was very important for me to push, because if I believed in it, I could make it happen. And my grandfather used to always tell us, if you got the will, you'll find the way. So I created a nonprofit where I teach special needs and disabled. It's called Dumyeon. Last March, I went to Korea and got recognized as one of the top instructors in the United States. I know it's early. And then I met these guys. So, in getting better to present to those that don't understand what my passion is, I joined these guys, and they really steered me in the right direction. Because my speech not only got better, my values got stronger. And I always thank them. So I do want to leave you with this. Our past makes us who we are today, so please do not forget your past, because it just makes you stronger for who you are today.
Yay.